So I know everyone loves to make fun of Bradley Beal and act like he's not a good basketball player, but Bradley Beal is very low-key holding up NBA free agency. At least that's my assumption here. Because Bradley Beal has been rumored to be working on a buyout with Phoenix. At least Phoenix is trying to buy him out of his deal. And if that happens, Bradley Beal is going to be an all-star level talent available for a very cheap number. And that maybe has some teams in a bit of a holding pattern, and specifically the Golden State Warriors. Now, the teams we've heard rumored to have interest in Bradley Beal are the Warriors, the Bucks, and the Miami Heat. And very low-key, we haven't heard any rumors about this, but I don't see why that wouldn't be the first team calling Bradley Beal. The Dallas Mavericks, right? Shouldn't they be on the phone with Bradley Beal right now? Add Bradley Beal with D'Lo. Yeah, D'Lo, I'm saying D'Lo first. Don't know why I did that. But D'Lo, Cooper Flag, AD, the rest of that core, they might be a title contender. Bradley Beal still, that sounds crazy saying add Bradley Beal and you're a title contender, but Bradley Beal is still a very good basketball player, and he's exactly what they would need with no Kyrie. So I think the Mavericks will be heard from if Bradley Beal gets bought out. But I was making a video the other day and I ended up not dropping it. I gotta stop doing that and just, shoot, drop the videos. But I was making a video about Milwaukee, and I was saying how I don't like the Miles Turner move, not because I don't like Miles Turner, but because it was a very safe move, right? You add Miles Turner, oh, we're just gonna be a decent team now. We got Giannis and Miles Turner. We know that works, right? But the Bucks are in a position where they're probably gonna lose Giannis. They're probably not gonna be very good this year, so you kind of gotta shoot for the moon here. And why not take that same deal you just gave to Miles Turner and throw it at Kuminga? Not saying Kuminga is the answer, but at least you give yourself a shot at the potential. At least Giannis might look at that and say, we can build something with me and this guy, as opposed to Miles Turner, and I still gotta carry everything by myself. Why not give that same deal you gave Miles Turner and throw it at Josh Giddey? Crazy fit with Giannis, but at least you would have something, right? You would have something. Throw it at Cam Thomas, right? And if it works, great. If it doesn't, Giannis was gonna leave anyway, and at least you have a young player that you could potentially move later down the road and start your rebuild, or maybe have a young star that you could build with down the road, right? So that was what I was thinking. And then after I got done recording that video, I got the news about the Bucks being interested in Bradley Beal, and that makes sense, right? But that, softens the blow a little bit, because I can look at Giannis, Miles Turner, and Bradley Beal and think they might be able to make a little bit of noise out east. That's crazy to say, but I think they could. Giannis is that good. And again, I think Bradley Beal is being severely underrated right now. So that made me look at that a little bit differently. And maybe the Bucks are making different moves because they feel like they can get Bradley Beal. The Warriors, what are they going to get for Kuminga, right? All kind of wrapping around Kuminga and Bradley Beal here. But the Warriors, what are they going to get for Kuminga? And what you get in return changes when you trade, or if you're able to get Bradley Beal, you don't need as much in return, right? So Miami, what is the deal they're gonna give you? Probably nothing great, but the calculus of that changes so much if you're able to get Bradley Beal for cheap, because you need less, right? Let's say the Warriors get Al Horford and Bradley Beal. All of a sudden, you don't need much. So you trade Kuminga for Kyle Anderson and Haywood Highsmith. On the surface, that looks terrible. You're quote unquote losing that trade, right? But if you're the Warriors and you look up this summer and you added Bradley Beal, Al Horford, Haywood Highsmith, and Kyle Anderson, and all you lost was Kevon Looney, Kuminga, and GP2, Kuminga, who was getting DMPs in the playoffs, right? That would be a win of an offseason. But they can't really make that move yet until they know they are or aren't getting Bradley Beal. And also what's going on with Al Horford, that hasn't happened yet. But if they don't get Bradley Beal, you kind of want to trade Kuminga for more of a scoring punch than a Kyle Anderson, Haywood Highsmith package, right? But if you have Bradley Beal, Al Horford, Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Brandon Pajemski, Moses Moody, Quentin Post, Buddy Hield, and you add Haywood Highsmith and Kyle Anderson to that, we're talking about the best defense in the NBA, with elite three-point shooting between Steph Curry, Bradley Beal, Quentin Post, and Buddy Hield. And again, the Warriors' calculus changes depending on if Bradley Beal is bought out or not. Because if Bradley Beal is not bought out, I could see the Warriors engaging in a Kuminga for a Grayson Allen type of swap. Because they need more shooting, they need more scoring. I could see that happening. But if you're able to get Bradley Beal, maybe you trade Kuminga for Royce O'Neal and Nick Richards, right? Something like that. So a lot of it is tied up with Kuminga and Bradley Beal. Another team, the Sacramento Kings. It's been rumored that the Kings offered Devin Carter, Dario Saric, and a first-round pick for Kuminga. That was reported by Anthony Slater. If that's true, the Warriors reportedly turned that down, and the Warriors were kind of offended by that offer, which to me is hilarious because you've done nothing but tell the world you don't believe in Kuminga, so why would the offers be, blowing your socks off? But that's the Warriors, I guess, so they turned that down. It's also reported that they do not want DeMar DeRozan, so the deal would probably be centered around, and the Warriors want Keegan Murray, right? And why would the Kings do that? So the deal would probably be centered around Malik Monk. Again, what's going on with Bradley Beal? Because why would I trade Kuminga for Malik Monk if I'm going to be able to sign Bradley Beal? So I believe it's all kind of connected, and I think we'll see a resolution to Kuminga as soon as we see Bradley Beal either opt out and go somewhere else or go to the Warriors. That changes the calculus of whatever trade you are going to make. And if we see the Warriors trade Kuminga and they don't get much in return, or they get just like straight up defensive players in return, that might tip your hand a little bit that Bradley Beal might be going to the Warriors. I could just be making all this up, but it has been reported that the Warriors would be pursuing Bradley Beal. It has been reported that the Bucks would be pursuing Bradley Beal. It has been reported that Miami would be pursuing Bradley Beal. There are going to be other suitors, and again, if I'm Bradley Beal and I get bought out, I'm going to Dallas. Why not go to Dallas? Go play with AD, got a point guard in D'Lo, got Cooper Flag, got a bunch of defense around you. I think that would be a great team, and you would be able to shine there. You would be the second option. So if I was Bradley Beal, I would have Dallas as my number one option if they wanted me there. Second would be the Warriors. Third would probably be Milwaukee. But in terms of Kuminga, and again, why it's connected, I think Phoenix is low-key the best possible situation for him. And also Phoenix, why not just take a flyer on Kuminga? You're in a perfect position to do it. You're trying to build around Devin Booker. You're probably not going to have to pay Kuminga a crazy amount of money. And why not take a flyer on someone that clearly has all-star potential? And since it seems like you're making this a point book situation, which is not what I would have done, right? I would have leaned into more Devin Booker off ball. I would have got him a real point guard. But it seems like they're leaning into point book, putting two crazy athletic freaks next to him in Jalen Green and Kuminga. We got Dylan Brooks, Ryan Dunn for defense. So that team might be really fun. That team would probably be extremely hard to guard on a night-to-night basis. They'd probably be able to run teams out the gym just athletically. And they would probably be a team that racks up wins because you're just not prepared for them on a random Tuesday night in January, right? Not saying they'd be this elite team, but they might be a better regular season team than you would think. And why not just take that flyer if you're Phoenix? You're not going to get too many chances at an all-star talent like this. You're probably not going to be bad enough to get a high pick next year, right? Assuming Devin Booker is who we think he is, you're probably going to get, the 10th pick, the 11th pick maybe, which you can get a star at, but you can get a star at any pick, right? So I would take that flyer on Kuminga, but overall, I think Bradley Beal is very low-key holding up NBA free agency. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Please like, comment, subscribe. On the road to 10,000 subscribers. We're almost there. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm out. Peace.